All right, here is a puzzle that I found on Facebook. That is a pretty decent example of order of operations, the convention. It does offer a twist that some of the other puzzles don't, and I'll get into that a little bit more. But the problem is 60 divided by 2 times the quantity 10 plus 5. All right. So, first of all, a little bit of background. I have some more detail in some other videos, but basically, the Order of Operations Convention allows for people all over the world to get the same answer to a problem. There's a structure to the convention that's been developed, and it started all the way back around the 16th century. Some of the earliest books on algebra started the talking about order of operations, and then at some point exponents actually got entered into the mix, and so those were included. There's a lot of confusion and a lot of wrong assumptions about the use of the order of operations convention. It's known by a lot of different mnemonics and acronyms. PEMDAS, BODMAS, BEDMAS, BIDMAS are some of the ones that are used in a lot of English-speaking countries. There's also mnemonics like "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," which is just a an acronym for PEMDAS. Um, all these different mnemonics, they all refer to the very same order of operations rules. There's no, 5 or 6 different ways of doing it. These all represent the same thing. The basic order of operations, the way the convention works, is that there are 4 different steps. First of all, you've got parentheses, then you have exponents. Number 3, you have multiplication or division, left to right. Then you have addition or subtraction, left to right. So no matter what you learned, that's the convention. Well, everyone should have learned the same thing. It's like what people remember and what they actually learned are 2 different things. This is the only convention that's been used. It's the only thing that's been taught for well over 100 years, and even before that. So anyway, back to the problem we've got. It's 60 divided by 2 times the quantity 10 plus 5. Per the order of operations, okay, we don't have any parentheses, we don't have any exponents, so the very next operation from left to right is our division. So we're going to do 60 divided by 2 is 30, then 30 times the quantity of, technically, we do the thing in parentheses first, so if we did that, we would have 15. But this is fine doing it this way. We're actually solving what's in parentheses first. We're getting 15, and then the next thing was our division, which is 60 divided by 2. So we're going to end up with this 30 times 15 equals 450. So pretty simple, pretty standard. You do what's in parentheses first and get 15. You do your division next, which is 60 divided by 2. Then the last thing is your multiplication, which is going to be 30 times 15 is 450. Now keep in mind, multiplication and division are the same operation. They have the same precedence. The only reason here that division comes first is because it's to the left. You're just going left to right, and that's, you could basically go through in that order. Now I'm going to throw this in because there is a little bit of ambiguity in this problem. This is going to cause some arguments with people whether or not they believe in this convention. But there is an agreed upon convention that's been around for a long time also that's called multiplication by juxtaposition. And you can talk to someone who's more of a mathematician about this. I'm just an engineer, but this refers to multiplying by just putting things next to each other rather than using the, x or the multiplication symbol. This convention indicates that the juxtaposed values must be multiplied together before processing other operations. So that throws a little bit of a wrench in this. Multiplication by juxtaposition finds itself in conflict with our order of operations, and it introduces the first real ambiguity. Of a lot of these different puzzles I put on my channel, this is probably the first one that's popped up where we do have some real ambiguity. I've seen most cases where the strict interpretation of order of operations is maintained and the multiplication by juxtaposition conventions just simply ignored. However, a real mathematician would likely scold me and bring up the ambiguity issue. And they do, I mean, they bring up a good point. You know, we want everything to be black and white, yes or no, binary, 0 or 1, either right or wrong. But yeah, mathematicians are going to bring this up. In the problem, depending on whether or not you accept the multiplication by juxtaposition convention, we're going to do it here with well, using multiplication by juxtaposition. You first look at the problem and you realize, okay, yeah, I got to do everything in parentheses first. So I'm going to get my 15. 60 divided by 2 times 15. But then if I'm looking at this 2 outside of the parentheses, there's no multiplication symbol. So according to multiplication by juxtaposition, I have to go ahead and do the 2 times 15 first before I do that division. So even though the division lies to the left, multiplication by juxtaposition tells me I got to do this first. So you're going to end up with 60 divided by 30 equals 2. Now, if you just follow the strict order of operations and ignore the multiplication by juxtaposition, you're going to get your answer of 450. So, yeah, I could see anybody answering either 2 or 450, and you could make a case for either of those answers. But you really can't make a case for anything else. I mean, the people who want to go left to right and ignore the order of operations are going to be completely wrong, no matter how you look at it. So I hope this video has been helpful, and please make sure you check out some of the others that I have on some other puzzles that are making their way on the internet, and a little bit more background on order of operations. So again, I hope this video was helpful.